things to look out for, when creating content. So I'm gonna just do a little touch point, just do one or two touch points on how to go about lead generation on the social media. Like I said, one of the online spaces to be able to get lead generation ready, like in a mass scale, in a like a very great quantity, is what? On the social media. Majority of us play with what? Our social media. So many of us like rely only on WhatsApp. To be honest, yes, WhatsApp is part of social media tools. WhatsApp has a different role to play in your career or field as well as a realtor. So WhatsApp is not the major social media to focus on. WhatsApp is more like a funnel through which water passes through. It is where you converge every single of your lead into to be able to have grow kind of a personal relationship with them. But the major aspect of social media I am referring to, I'm talking about Facebook, I'm talking about Instagram, I'm talking about LinkedIn, I'm talking about TikTok. Alright? So these are the kind of social media I am talking to. I'm talking about because they have the potential to push out your content to be able to reach out to what? A wide range of what? Individuals. Okay? So now, if you are not utilizing your social media account, be your Facebook, your Instagram, or TikTok, please try starting today. Try starting today. See, there is one thing I need you to understand. Real estate, selling real estate is a high-tech product, and it's not something you do behind the mask. People need to see who they are dealing with. That is number one. So just do away with this. I don't want you to see me. I don't want you to know what. See, that means you never start. Man. Never start. Your matter go too long. You have not started. Do away with. I want to be doing things on low. No, you don't do things on low when it comes to real estate, because people do not. Real estate is future. Real estate is people's future. Like if you understand the wealth that real estate creates, you know the reason why people don't play with it. Alright? So you need to put yourself out there for people to know who they are dealing with. You need to speak. And when each time you are speaking, speak from the angle of what? An educator. People love people that will educate them. Majority of investors today does not even understand or kind of understand why they should invest in a particular place. In fact, before you start talking about educating investors, you need to educate yourself more as what? As a realtor. Because I could tell you that majority of realtors like they lack knowledge about the product they're selling. Majority of them doesn't even understand the product they're selling. See, when you see what real estate really entails, then you begin to take it more serious. You see the reason why educating your investors is very, very, very important. Majority of the time, you might be thinking you are playing. So trying to okay, let me just use for example Ruby Court. You turn on your camera. You want to talk about Ruby Court. What investors are interested when you are discussing about Ruby Court? Why should they buy? Why should they even consider investing in Ruby Court? You need to what? Educate them on that. That is where you need to go and study, understand the real core reason behind value appreciation in real estate. What are the what? Value triggers in real estate? And those value triggers, does it apply to the property you are suggesting? Because if you like, if you ever try to if you ever try to educate an investor, he's only more interested to understand. Investors are more interested, will I ever get my money back while I investing in what? In movie court. That is where your education comes in. You are what? You are there to educate them why they are going to get their money back. What are the, what they not they need to see the indices. They need to see what? The facts that what? Them investing in movie court is a good choice, and it's also what? The right investment to do. Because what? You are no longer trying to want them to come and buy. They have seen that kind of video every single day. But your education comes from an angle of what? Trying to make them understand what the things they need to know. What are the necessary documents they need to consider. For the first time, okay, um, some investors might not even understand the full documents they should need or they should request for when buying land at all. So you need to educate them what the kind of documents we have, so that they will get to understand what are these documents used for. Because every document has a use for it. All document does not work the same. What deed of assignment does is not what CFO does. And what CFO does is not what family receipt does. These are the things. I've heard someone, like on my page, someone was asking me, is family receipt enough document to to qualify him owning a land? And I told him no. Receipt is just to show that it's the existence of what? Transaction. That's all. Then deed of assignment is the document that shows that what? That a right has been transferred from what? The original owner of this land to me, or to the investor who is what? Trying to buy this property. That is now C of O is now what? A document from government giving me what? The approval of right to use that particular land. Now you see how I just described this document, and you see what they are what their work are used for. They had different use. So many investors doesn't know this. So many of them complicate these issues. They complicate these documents. You might see investor trying to go and purchase a land, and the only document he has is family receipts. And when issues rises up, he can't win that case. He cannot win that case because family receipt is not enough to what? To prove that you are owner of the land. Because anybody can manufacture receipts. That's fact. Anybody can manufacture receipts. And that's the reason why you as a realtor need to do well. You need to educate yourself well. Invest in education. Education is quite free. It's on YouTube. There's so many ways you can go about it. There are so many who have gone ahead of you, who have written books. Buy, read. Alright, try to understand what this real estate is all about. Real estate is not about flipping of land or selling of land. There is much more to it. Real estate all have to do with, apart from the land you are selling, everything inclusive of it, be it the natural resources, everything, all of them, agriculture, they are also part of what? Real estate. So, but because of that, the fact that you are interested in just selling of land does not mean that selling of land is what? Real estate. So that's one reason as a realtor you should make sure that what? Gaining more knowledge about the product you are selling. So when people tell you should get more knowledge, this is what they're telling you. You need to understand what you are truly selling. Because what? What investors are looking out for is different from what you are selling to them. Because they have had, come and buy this. This location is at this location is at that. I've heard it sold several times. So educating yourself is number one way of what? Growing on social media as a realtor. Because ever, whenever you are educated enough, then you cannot have something to tell. You cannot have something to say to your investors, to whosoever that is watching you. Because one thing you should know is what? Try and educate yourself. I'm not going to say this more than twice. It's very, very important. So, right now, you have already understood that, the power of social media, what it will do, the reach you can gain from it, and the kind of social media you should be looking out for. Try your best to be active on social media. Go live, go live on Facebook. Try to go live on Facebook. Try to go live on TikTok. Make content around uh, try to make content around what you are selling. Okay? Try to make content around what you are selling. Then start what showing up on social media. Upload on social media as much as possible. You might be averaging two views, three views or so. But you never know who is watching you. Alright? So this thing I'm explaining is what we call organic way of what? Getting people to reach out to you. Okay? On social media. This is what an organic way of getting people to reach out to you on social media. Okay, so sorry about that. So, alright. So now, whenever immediately you have educated yourself, let me rephrase again. Immediately you have educated yourself enough, then the next step is what? Engaging on social media. Just pick a platform you want, alright? You must not be everywhere. You can pick Facebook, you can pick Instagram, you can pick TikTok or LinkedIn. But for me, I always recommend people to use Facebook and Instagram, and I have my reasons. The reason why I always recommend these two social media platforms is because of the audience that these two platforms demands. Not like TikTok is not good, not like LinkedIn is not good. LinkedIn is also good, but the major reason why I always prefer these two platforms, which is Facebook and Instagram, is because of let's say uh, the audience that buys your products, they are more active on these two social media. Alright? So, for example, imagine going on TikTok talking about real estate. Yes, so many audience, so many of your, yeah, your audience that buys also on TikTok, but you cannot compare that to these two other platforms. Because what? The audience that are on TikTok are more of what? Gen Zs. Yeah, it's more of Gen Zs. They are thinking right now, it's not about pulling anything. Right? They're not thinking about pulling anything right now. So they're more on TikTok. So you don't just go and talk to, because I've heard, if you have known this guy, what's that guy's name? Is it this biggest Opeyemi, yeah. He was saying that he had a band collaboration with one restaurant like that. He said he posted the video collaboration on TikTok and Instagram. I think the product was around 50,000 naira for food. I think that's a food brand. So, could you believe that he had more views on TikTok. Like he had almost 1 million views on TikTok. And on Instagram that he posted the same content, I think he had about 30,000 views. But the the brand made more money from the Instagram compared to what? TikTok. Yes, some clients came from TikTok, but they were like about 10-20%. The remaining 80% came from Instagram, despite averaging more views on TikTok than what on Instagram. So this is not opinion. This is a proven experiment. Alright. This is a proven experiment. You can try that across, not like you won't get anybody on TikTok. But what we are talking here about the volume comparison between this and this. So the volume comparison between these two platforms, TikTok and what? Instagram or Facebook. So you can never compare the two. So that reason why I always tell people to focus more on Facebook and what? Instagram. Because it's going to give them more reward for their time. Then if you are running adverts, it's going to give you more reward for the money. So we are discussing here that social media is a game changer for you. So if you are going the organic way, because in social media we have two ways of really generating leads on social media, which is what? The organic and what? Inorganic. So this organic is what I'm describing so far, like educating yourself, then coming on social media to what? To speak out, talk about your products, talk about things that is happening in real estate. Alright? You know, look at people who has already done this thing before you, then see what they are doing. Model them, don't copy and paste what they are doing. But just try your best to like educate yourself. But the major reason for today's class is more of this inorganic. Because this organic, if you are trying to discuss it today, it's going to be very long. So understand, it's going to be very, very long because then we're now talking about content creation, things that you need to do as a content creator in what? In the real estate space. So now, when we are discussing about inorganic aspect of lead generation, one thing is also that certain. What social media platform are you focusing on? It still fall back to what? Facebook and Instagram. And you know the reason why I choose these two. Because what? The audience there are more of what? You buy, their buying psychology is more higher than what? Other platforms. Now LinkedIn is also there too, but LinkedIn usage in Nigeria is too low. Yeah, LinkedIn usage in Nigeria, except you are doing text or yeah. Yeah. LinkedIn usage in Nigeria is quite too low. So that's the reason why I always, because we as a marketer, because I myself am a performance marketer. Now, trying to venture into organic marketing or venture into inorganic lead generation, then Facebook and Instagram is still the way to go. FB and IG is still the way to go because you can't do without these two. They are the king when it comes to what? Marketing. Okay? So now, but before you ever start, I believe every one of us we have seen ads before on the Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. So that is the same thing we are doing here. The only difference between organic and inorganic is just you are using money to make money. Alright? Because right here in your inorganic way of so in the inorganic way of lead generation, you are paying Facebook to go what? To go find new people. Go find new people, get their contact details, then you can reach out to them, be it on call, on WhatsApp, whichever one that works for you. Alright? So now what we are now talking about is how do we now use this Facebook and Instagram to generate it as a realtor. That is very, very sweet. And that's what we are here to do, because I'm gonna say it. Number one thing, before you venture into inorganic way of generating leads, first of all you need to see the money you are putting in as an investment. The major reason businesses run or fail in going for this, because they always see running of ads as expenses. It's not an expense, it's an investment, because something that puts in 100,000 naira to get the client that, this is a client that came to buy the property of the 2 million naira, and at the end of the day I made a commission of 10%, which is 200,000. So I've already made my money back. And besides, you are not selling to just one person. You have a multitude of people. There are some times that I will run ads like I will run ads straight in one single month, like for full 30 days. I'm going to be averaging 1,000 people. Not for real estate, I have other things I run ads for. Not for real estate. But let's assume now you are running ads for real estate and you are averaging at least 200 leads in a month, and your conversion rate is just 10%. That is 20 people. 20 people buying properties from you every single month, meaning that you have sold 20 properties. Let's assume that you are selling one plot for the whole 20 people. So that means you are averaging 20 plots in a month. Okay, 20 plots, though everything depends. All this smart is just figures throwing up, because when it gets to actual running of ads, all this whole number will change depending on what your spend, which is the money you're going to be paying Facebook to help you bring in people. Alright? So, but there is one thing you need to understand before you start running ads, which is what? There are three things. Okay, there are three things you need to understand before running ads, so that you don't break yourself. Number one is what? The right audience. Number two is what? Knowing the right message to put out there. Then number three, sorry. Number one is the right audience. Number two is the right message. Then number three is what? The right offer. These three things are what will make or break your ads. Alright? These are the three things that will make or break your ads. If you don't get your audience right, if you don't get who you are talking to, that is why let's assume a business owner calls me up to help you run ads, and I will ask you, man, who are your audience? And you open mouth tell me say everybody. I believe you. I believe all those kind of clients, they are the wahala. People that they can't even define who they are talking to. Okay, but let's assume you are into real estate, and I ask you asked me, okay, what is my target audience? First of all, the thing that will come to my mind is, okay, the real estate that I'm selling, how much is it? Okay, let me just build a quick persona of what I'm saying by the right audience, the right message, and what the right offer. Okay, let us say what is our this property, Bella Vista, and we are selling. The price currently is 2.5. So yeah, one of our lists least projects, or let's say least estates that we had is Bella Vista, which is going for 2.5 million now. So what we are trying to do now, we are trying to what? Build um, build real estate persona of who our audience is, the kind of message we should what? Send to them, and what? The right offer. Offer is what you present, the things that entices you. For example, if you go to market to go buy mango, and if you had okay 6 pieces of mango for 1,000 naira. Let's just say two traders that were there. One is selling um, 2 pieces of 6 pieces of mango with extra 2 mangoes as like how they call it, messy or so, as an extra. And the other is selling 6 pieces of mango for 1,000 naira, and he's telling you that he doesn't do messy or fishy or any of those things. Which one will you go for? You go for the one that you buy 6 and he give you extra 2. You see now that extra 2 is the offer, is the thing that entices you to buy from this one, not because of they are selling differently. They are selling the same thing, just that what that offer this one gave you made you to go for this and leave the other. So that is what an offer is. So now let's build one for real estate. Now someone will ask me, what is when you meet right audience, what do you mean? Okay, let's do this way. So like I said, this one of our list estates right here, Bella Vista, 2.5. Now, I'll be like, what is the right audience that this market should fit? Then I will start thinking, who are the kind of people that might want to buy this 2.5? Then the next thing I should be asking myself is, what are the things that will push people to come buy this property? Because nobody woke up in the morning to go buy anything. There must be a reason why they want to buy that. Then I will start thinking, who are the kind of people that will come buy this? Then there are so many options, and people buy because of so many different reasons. But I need to start on the ones I can, get. Then I'll start looking at, okay, since this is a very, cheap, well, and I'm not going to call it cheap, but it's something that I will still not call it cheap because out of all the estates that you have there, it's the cheapest. So I'm going to call it cheap. So I'm going to say, okay, this land is cheap, number one, and it is located at is cheap, and it has good location, and the location is located right behind Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University. And so. Meaning that what? It has a high potential, it has a very great potential of what? Becoming a residential hostels. People can use it for Airbnb or so. Then I'll be like, okay, but does it qualify to be, even though it's right behind Chukwuemeka, does it qualify currently to be used for this, that? Because, for example, the person who is buying this land to build hostel is different from someone who is buying to live as a family home. It's also different from someone who is buying to what? To flip it. Alright. So, you see, there is so many different reasons why people are buying. Now, since I've already gotten okay, the land is cheap and it's in a good location, then our next thing is I'm going to ask, who are the people? Who are the people? Who are the people that what? That might be interested to buy this property? It's cheap, It's a low, like they will not consider it that much. Then I'll be like, okay, why don't, since this is cheap, why don't I consider couples? Couples who are just getting married for the first time, they might, wanting to make an investment. This is something they might like. They might want to what? Build or hold it for their future, you know, son or daughter, whatsoever, depending on what their intention is there before buying. So now I've gotten okay. Okay, let's just say, okay, we are going to build this persona, real estate persona, around people, around young couples. So let's assume now we're going to build this persona, real estate persona. So this real estate persona is more like who we are talking to, because you need to understand who you are talking to before you even start running ads. Because running of ads is the simplest aspect of what generating leads. It's the simplest aspect of generating leads. But if you do not understand what I'm saying right now, because I've seen a lady who was complaining on social media that she has spent 2 million naira to run ads and she made 0 naira. I didn't blame her. It's not her fault, because there are so many things that goes behind running of ads before you talk about taking of ads. Alright. So by next week Thursday, we are going to be treating ads practically, so that you kind of understand. You know what I'm saying. When I say press this, you know what to do and what not to do. How to how to write a compelling message that will suit whosoever you are talking to. So right now, okay, I've said okay, we are gonna build this persona around young couples who are getting married for the first time. And uh, and how they are going to react when they see my offer. So remember, our offer is cheap and good. Our offer is cheap and good in a very wonderful location that commands potential attention. Now we are talking about who. We have so many people who fit into buying of our land, but we say let's choose one, which has what? Young couples, people who just got married and wanted to buy, you know, a real estate, a piece of real estate for their children. Now, we be like, okay, since these young couples that are trying to invest in real estate as couples, then we're going to speak to them directly by saying, um, you know, we're going to speak to them by saying, maybe it depends on how you want to go about it, but let me take this route. I'll be like, okay, um, I know the reason why you are making decisions like this. You want to make a decision that your own father or mother never made when they were what? When they were young as you, or when they got married in the first place. Because if they had what? Made such investments, then by now you would have had something to your name or so. Like there is a way I'm gonna say this. Because right now, me while growing up, my father never bought a property, even though when he had the opportunity to do so, he never did. He never did. And someone now, when I'm scrolling through my Facebook or or Instagram, and someone now made such an emotional comment to me, I was gonna touch, because if my father never made his own mistakes, then bought a property for me while I was still the baby, or when they got married, or when he had the chance to do so. Maybe and I had some words. A family, what they call a family right now, what they call a family estate. Yeah. Or something you can what? Resell and reinvest. Why what? Why you are grown as a what? As a matured man. So such message is gonna touch me. It's gonna touch me. I'll be like, wow, because this person like touched something that what? That you know I should have my father or my mother should have done. Then I'll be like, okay, I think this is something I can do. It's the money I have it, the land is cheap, and from what they are saying, the land is in a good location. The next thing is I'm gonna start thinking of let me go and do inspection, let me go and see what they're saying. You see now, I've already gotten the words. When we're going to talk about the right audience, I'm going to when by next week when we start running ads, I'm going to what show you um, how to what get the right audience. Right audience. Right now, majority of things I've done here is what I broke down what the right message, and I now broke down what the right offer is all about. Okay, right offer is what the things that entices people to buy. Those are the things. That is what the right offer is all about. So once you get the once you be able to get the right audience, the right message, and what the right offer, in fact, every other thing is over. Because the next thing that remains is all about you know platform, how to now run the ads. Because once you get these three things, which is the right audience, the right message, and the right offer, then you now move over to what? Creating ads, ad video, where you sit down, talk about those things. Because young people, I can talk about the 30 different ways. Create it as a form of video, right? Then um, try to run adverts, pay Facebook to help you push this content or push this content to a wide range of people. So that is very simple. That's how this thing are being done. It's not a rocket science. Okay. So immediately you finished you have already gotten your three most important things about lead generation. You start creating your ad video. And I know, and once you are done creating your ad, you can. It's not much. It's not much you must do ad video. You can create flyer. It's not. It goes different. Depends on what you want. You can use flyer. You can use video. You can do anything. But while you are creating it, there are other things you should make sure that you avoid. Like make sure you avoid people trying to put people who are popular on your videos because Facebook frown over that because they might be thinking they are trying to persuade someone or they are putting that person to use that to borrow. Like in marketing, there's something they call borrowed authority. So, like you are putting. That was a day I used. There is this American, one of these biggest American marketer, Alex Cambozi. You know him. I just put in. I think that was referencing something. Yeah, I was referencing something and made me put his image. Maybe Facebook saw that they just banned the video first. I had to delete it. Now re-edit, remove the man before they now allowed it. So now,
So you use this picture.
yeah, I used this picture. I was referencing something like, imagine I'm trying to say, imagine I'm living in a neighborhood where, that thing is this one and this. And while I'm saying the name, I'm just like putting that picture. Once they they don't care what you are saying because when you do not listen to the video you are doing, they read your video through what they call what they call, don't forget, but the thing is more of like picture. Thumbnail, yeah, thumbnail, yeah. They make your video in thumbnail format because every video that we do in this life is pictures, pictures that are in motion. So they are all pictures, but those that are in motion. That was the reason why you can see them play. That was how digital camera was born. So we still remain like that. They are all what pictures. So Facebook will read everything in form of picture. And once while reading the video in the picture format, that face will pop out. And once it pops out, and they already know the account you are using was never associated with the original person. They are going to find it. And once Facebook strike you more than 3 times, the next one that they will chop the account. And once they chop the account, the money is gone. Everything there is no even peace. They don't get peace. They don't get peace. I remember the last ad that I went to run for some about cryptocurrency. They flagged that scam. They did it one time, second time, third time, fourth time, they chop their account. In 500K was found was gone. There is no that money is gone. So that's these things are very easy. But you get to understand this when if you are still if you are able to then you are going to be dealing more on faster because there's no how I'm going to be telling you what I want to without you being practical. You have to be practical for this every single aspect of what Facebook was entails. Because I think these things I've said so far is enough for today. It's enough for today because other ones is actually practical. Honestly, it's actually practical. Because by next week I'll be showing you how to write a compelling message. Alright? We'll even be diving deep on more on how to really create different because the way I'm going to talk to for your talk is going to be different from what I'm going to talk to professionals, Igbo professionals living in Lagos. The same way I'm going to talk differently to what? Diasporans who live outside Nigeria. These are different ways because the way you speak to people is the way I'm going to work. So the last I forgot to add one of the social media people consider is what? YouTube. The YouTube is very, very important. The reason why YouTube is very important is YouTube helps you to reach out to people who are outside Nigeria. People who are outside Nigeria. And the major thing why I also recommend you being on social media, being active on social media is because of what? Most of the time, the clients will come to you. Then the next thing you're going to do is to go and search your name. So just calm down, find yourself in Google, type your name on Google, see if you can appear there. If you appear there, that shows that you are doing something. But if you're not there, that's big. So imagine I've lost the because of what the client came to me, went on Google to kind of search about me. That was when I'm still not there with me. Some person, it's a different person who was just talking about that property. I think he was interested in it. He was like, okay, let me go make an inquiry about it. That was how I lost him. Next thing he started telling me, oh, he has already bought so many. Yeah, so now, me now, I don't ask. Just as I don't give it, I don't give it.
But I those for you to appeal, I guess I have to understand.
No, no, no. Your activities for you to appear on Google has to do with you leaving what they call digital footprint. What I mean by digital footprint, do you know what they call Google Analytics? Right? You have heard about it. So if you think about Google My Business, try the possible digital Google My Business. This is free. Okay? The only thing is just required for you to have Gmail. Okay? Have Gmail, put in your number, put in your address, put in your list. Then your Facebook, your Instagram, then your YouTube. Try to create who you are. I don't know whatever you want to ask. You can do, you can try to maybe you can go with real talk. Real Erica, anyone. I don't know. I'm just giving an example. Okay, just put out something that people can not just see. You put out an image that people can see. Right now it's quite easy. You can just put out your image on ChatGPT. ChatGPT will help you create a professional headshot picture that you can place on your Facebook or Instagram. Then the next thing you need to do just educate yourself. But like I say, educate yourself because it's not how you are going to value on social media. You have to educate yourself first before educating your investors. It's very, very, very important because you cannot give what you don't have. Right? That's how this will be. Educating yourself is even very, very important before thinking about running your ads. Because we are having this discussion very the guy was trying to start this want to be a real he was like no even know where he wan start wetin he wan talk he was like shey if he do person wetin he wan tell the person that's the issue you need to educate yourself about the products you are selling first before thinking about okay oh I want to now go further into running of ads. First of all, you need to be very good at organic, then inorganic way of lead generation. Because organic content is more like an icing on your words, more like an icing on your cream. Because when you run ads, people probably they don't trust you immediately, but they don't know who you are. But when they go to what? To your organic content, they'll be like, oh, this guy has been here. So, and he has been talking some senses. They'll be like, okay, inspired with what he's doing. Then they'll be like, okay, can we deal? And then all of them has, you know, their role. Okay? One cannot work independently, neither the other one. So there are some people that they don't care. They just focus on, like me now. I don't give a fuck. I don't like me now, honestly, I'm very, very bad at this. Like, not like I'm bad. Like, I can give you strategy of how to do this, but I'm quite shy when it comes to creating content. But I'm learning, alright? So I'm learning. Okay? So everybody learns. Nobody is very perfect in over this. So just like with time, you get used to it. Okay? It's not. It's very, very simple. So, believe we have come to the end of today's class. Till next week Thursday, we are going to be having a practical class, an in-depth class. I will next week. So make sure you come with your pen and I want to pen and pencil, pen and paper, because it's going to be very hot. Okay, so we're going to see what and what's do's and don'ts when it comes to what really has to be able to generate leads as well as a realtor. Alright? So thank you once again. My name is Ubi. See you next time. Is there